All right, you're a reindeer. Here's your motivation. Your name is Rudolph. You're a freak with a red nose and no one likes you. Then one day, Santa picks you and you save Christmas. No, forget that part. We'll improvise. Just keep it loosey-goosey. You hate Christmas. You're going to steal it. Saving Christmas is a lousy ending anyway. Way too commercial. Action!
Is this a Grinch? It
Yes.
sounds like Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yes.
Okay. Is he talking to his dog?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Okay. I'm glad that I'm lost because I've never watched that movie ever.
I like it.
It's not bad.
It's really good. I don't know. It's better than any of the other Grinches probably ever, ? Like the, what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch is pretty good too.
Oh, he's in it?
No, there's another one. There's a cartoon one.
It was like 2018.
Yeah.
Oh. I just like the classic one from the 60s with Boris Karloff's voice. I'm fine with that one.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, Jim Carrey's Grinch is pretty good. It's definitely one on me, and I definitely enjoy the weird world that, what's the director's name?
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard, yeah, that he's created.
All right, well, welcome to the Utterly Useless Podcast. If you so utter as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish. If you'd like to fact us, press the star key. To my left is a who that will tune you out while you're singing Fa hu dores da hu dores, well, with a pair of noise-canceling over-the-ear headphones while eating a plate of food like Cindy Lou who is not more than 2. It's Brett Who.
Thank you. I mean, granted, I don't even need noise-canceling headphones to mentally stop listening to musicals. So,
I wanted to go over the top.
okay, thank you.
Across from me is this year's holiday cheermeister. He will eat Who pudding, Who fudge, and Who fruit cake until he starts to shake. It's Jeremy Who.
Jeremy Who.
Lastly, I'm the Who that will knock you over to get that special gift once the store owner shouts, for the next 5 minutes only, 99% off. It's Timmy Who.
Do you know what the funniest thing about that movie is when you realize that one of the parties they go to is a key party.
Oh, really?
It's swingers party.
Yes, a swingers party. I'm like, okay. Like, there's just a lot of things in the background that are a little bit more grown-up-ish.
Yep.
And so I was like, wow, okay, good times. Good times. All right, let's get started with our normies for 2023. This is a wonderful and exciting time. Brett, as if I'm trying to turn to you and say, aren't you excited for this?
I am so excited. I'm just over the moon with the normies because this is for the normal people.
Criddle, have you been looking forward to this all year?
Well, you know me. I love a good normie.
Norm.
So I wanted to give last year I kind of gave a heads up, especially if this is your first time listening to a normie. So normies we're cutting out all the artsy fartsy stuff, all the crap that you see. And when you watch all these awards shows, you're like, what is that? I've never heard of that. This is the normal movies. We're gonna judge those. Anything that is artsy fartsy is banished and is hated and despised.
Not hated or despised, just
Yes.
not highly enjoyed and appreciated by us low normal people.
Yes, exactly. So, and then I started when I was doing some research for this, I started looking what are the best movies of this year? And again, it reminded me the importance of the normies. Because I was looking at USA Today, number 1, All of Us Strangers. Never heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Killers of the Flower Moon. What?
Oh yeah, that's the new Martin Scorsese movie with I've heard it.
Oh yeah, it does say Martin Scorsese.
I've heard it's 3 hours long, and so I was just like, no, that's a 2-taper. I'm not watching that.
And number 3, Poor Things. And then if I go to a different website like Rotten Tomatoes here, and I go to the best ones here, likewise, let's see, I'm trying to scroll real quick. Number 1 is The First Slam Dunk. Number 2 is Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret.
They're like crickets going.
Number 3 is Blackberry.
Oh, I've heard that's pretty good. That's
Is
a
it?
documentary on the creation of the BlackBerry.
Huh. But still, like most of these movies are not movies that are blockbusters or famous or popular, I feel like. So
No.
that is the reason for the normies. And also the second disclaimer that we gave out last year. We do not do this for a living. So therefore we do not have all the time and the money to watch all these movies.
Especially time.
Yeah, time is not a resource we have a lot of. So we will be judging movies that we have not seen. We're just going off of what we know. Some of us may have seen one movie. Some of us may have seen none of those movies.
Some of us have only seen the trailer.
Exactly. We're trying our best, guys. It's just as if you guys were sitting around with your friends talking about movies and be like, I don't want to watch that movie. But so here we go.
All right.
Number 1, this year for 2023, the nominees for Best Horror are Five Nights at Freddy's, Scream 6, Megan, The Nun 2, Insidious the Red Door, Evil Dead Rise, The Exorcist, Believer, Saw 10. I can't believe they got to 10.
Oh,
Thanksgiving, and the last one, Haunted Mansion.
I mean, I will say, I bet you Saw 10 is nowhere near as awesome as Jason X.
I know, if it doesn't take place in space.
I know.
That would be really funny. The little guy comes on his little tricycle and it's like floating.
Saw in space, Scream in space. That's what we need.
And then when they all get to 20, they all meet
Yeah.
in one movie.
That's the formula.
Uh-huh.
Checks.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least for me, so I will tell you, I've watched one of these. I've scrubbed through a couple of them because I do like a good horror movie and I do like a bad horror movie. However, boring horror movies can be a thing too. And at least as I was scrubbing through Evil Dead Rise, it just was so freaking slow. Like I'm sitting there waiting for some jump scares. And, you know, I scrubbed through like a near 2-hour movie in about 10 minutes and I got the gist of pretty much everything.
What is Evil Dead Rise about?
So it starts off really like it starts off at the end where somebody that you've never met goes into a lake and she just starts floating and hovering. And I think the male love interest gets to, crushed or whatever. And you're just like, wait, what just happened? And then we go like 3 weeks later or before, and we meet not that lady. And we meet her. She lives like in some apartments or whatever with her kids. And she just has a hectic life. And then the Evil Dead entity basically possesses her, killing her. And she just torments her family and the apartment building in which she lives in. And then, spoilers, after she dies, the Evil Dead entity finds the girl that you saw at the very beginning, possessing her, leading her into what we saw at the very beginning. And it's just like, that was the longest way to get there.
Well, that's good. So we can avoid that one.
Yeah. The other one is the Exorcist Believer, because
I was interested in this one.
The first one, the only reason why I scrubbed through it is I was like, okay, this could be good. But then there's 2 girls. And I'm like, wait, why 2? Like, are they twinsies? No, they're not. But it's just like, So I just kind of...
There are 2 girls that are possessed?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. And they play and they hang out. Let's go get our nails done.
Yeah, totally.
Mountain Dew.
And then I only saw the trailer for The Nun 2 because I scrubbed through The Nun 1, which is like scrubbing through it. I was just like, oh, this is a boring movie too. And then I wanted to give Scream 6 a try, but I just feel as though it's going to be the same formula.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee it. I mean, it's in New York now. So
Scream in New York.
So the guy was a ghost face, just starts stabbing people in public, and people are like, whatever.
Just another day ending in Y.
Same day, different crap.
But he's yelling, "What's your favorite scary movie?" He goes, "I know, I told you, living in New York."
Hey, I'm walking here.
That'd be so funny. Some gang member just takes out Ghostface. It's like, "What's your favorite scary movie, bro?"
They're like, well, that was a short movie.
12 minutes later.
I have seen the one movie I wish I saw on this list of horror movies is Thanksgiving. I have not. That trailer looks very interesting. But the one I have watched and thoroughly enjoyed is Five Nights at Freddy's.
So that is just like Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yep. So, and the funny thing is you know how I heard about this movie is about 9 years ago when it was super, super big, the video game. I was told this by my 9-10-year-old students, all the horrific things of this video game called Five Nights at Freddy's. So when it popped up and it just became like a thing because now these kids are like 17, 18 years old and they actually came back to visit me and says, "Oh, hey, by the way, you need to watch this movie." I got movie dumped on by my students that I taught like 9 years ago to go watch Five Nights at Freddy's. And so I did. I got Peacock for 1 month only for this movie. And then, of course, I missed out on the sale because it wouldn't let me have it because I've already had an account. But that's a me problem. But I thought it was fun because it was very simplistic in everything. It wasn't over the top. Everything was practical or, was kind of basic. It was just a fun, simple movie about evil possessed Chuck E. Cheese dolls that are looking for a friend to also kill and become part of the gang.
All right. That sounds enjoyable.
I just saw the trailer for The Exorcist last night, just while I was just laying in bed, and then I saw the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's last night as well because they're both on Peacock.
Oh,
So, and I've seen the trailer for The Haunted Mansion. I've also seen the trailer for the Evil Dead Rise. I'm gonna put my vote in for Five Nights at Freddy's.
All right. Well, let me. I was just looking at things on IMDb while we were talking. Haunted Mansion's not even listed as a horror, which is funny. It's just comedy, drama, family on IMDb.
Oh, Disney.
But I want to throw my 2 cents in. So I was on the airplane yesterday. I did it for the first time. I watched a horror movie on an airplane. I was like, let's see how this works out. It was Insidious: The Red Door. I'm a big fan of Patrick Wilson in the horror genre. And apparently he seems to really enjoy it himself because he keeps doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done like all the sequels of all his movies. And, you got to appreciate an actor that sticks with it like that and doesn't just go, all right, I'm done, cast a lookalike or something. I have to say that I really and thoroughly enjoyed the director's method of, he knows that people who are watching horror movies are probably a little desensitized or a little prepared or on guard for jump scares.
Uh-huh.
And so he teases them constantly, but he doesn't deliver them. And so it's kind of interesting because it kind of like puts you on pins and needles. Like, this is like the 5th one and it hasn't happened yet. When is it going to happen? And I mean, there are jump scenes eventually, but like he definitely teases them way more often than they actually happen. And so it does, throw you off. I liked that. However, I feel like the story was not the greatest of what, like, essentially there's this red door, as the title claims.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to spoil it. The red door, actually, you don't know what it is, and for like the longest time. But essentially, yeah, you can't really describe what it. Either what it is about is essentially is just this father and son, Patrick Wilson and his son, are being tormented by these creatures, and then it starts tormenting people around them. And I don't know. I've never seen the first Insidious, so there might be an explanation about the red door or something like that. I don't know in that one, but it's, yeah. Once you get to the ending, you kind of feel let down of how, like, oh, that was very simple on the way to solve all this, and this is dumb.
Oh.
So it just, horror movies are great. Yeah, I feel like horror movies have to have like not only a good director that is like delivering things properly, but you also have to have a good story to back it up.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean, I think every single horror movie, when it's created, written, or whatever, I think the person needs to be writing like, I want to make this scary in the movie theater, but I want to make this so scary that when the at-home audience is watching it, the idea of turning on the lights because I'm creeped out, that should be like the center. Like that's what you want to have happen.
And also a story that's, kind of like you put a thought into it. Because there's a lot of cheesy, and I think that's where a lot of horror movies are coming from these days, the cheesy.
Yeah.
And that's where all your silly Shudder ones or Slaughterhouse.
Oh, Slaughterhouse. Nominate that for... Oh, that's a good movie. That is a good movie. I mean, if you've ever wanted to watch a sloth, yeah, I can't believe I thought I threw that in there, but maybe I didn't. If you ever want to see a sloth use Instagram while it's murdering these beautiful co-eds, and you're like, I wonder if there's a movie out there that does it. Slaughterhouse is the movie for you.
I did start watching it. I wasn't able to get too far into it though.
It is
it kind of gives a Gremlins vibe to it, like she's getting the sloth.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a totally Gremlins vibe, and then it is just over the top sloth, like alpha sloth murdering all of these co-eds. It is so funny.
All right, before we announce this, and I want to give a shout out to our previous winner of last year's horror was it Normie of 2022?
Yeah.
It is Violent Night. And so, have you guys seen that?
It popped up on Prime, and then I just, Prime does not do a good job. You have to go places to find like your list, unlike Disney Plus or
literally every other
thing where you add it to your list. You literally have to find my stuff and then scroll around. And so I remember, I'm going to totally watch this. And it's probably been on my list. I don't know if it's still available for free on Prime, but it's obnoxious.
Yes. I avoid Prime unless I know specifically what I want to go watch. I hate it. All right. So with that, Criddle, you cast your vote for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
And Brett.
Yes, I'm going to go Five Nights at Freddy's.
I think I will too. And the reason for that is, like you said, Scream, same story, different location. Megan, I'm interested, but it's weird. And I don't know.
That movie is going to bother me, but just because I have a thing against dolls that I just...
At least you don't have a thing for dolls, right?
Yeah, no.
Nun 2, I kind of know what to expect. Exorcist, that sounds weird from Brett's description. Saw 10, same. I mean, you've done it 10 times now.
The only one I've ever been interested in watching is the one that stars Chris Rock.
What? Which
one of the Saw movies?
Oh, really? Chris Rock's in one of them?
Yeah,
huh?
Chris Rock's he's playing a serious detective, and I'm like,
that's weird.
I'm interested just because Chris Rock is taking a serious role.
All right, so we got Five Nights at Freddy's, which, I definitely want to see that. All right, drama, and before we start drama, I'm just going to give a reflection to the winner of last year's Normie. What is the greatest beer run ever? And I imagine you guys haven't seen it, right?
Nope.
Okay. It's a good one. All right. This year, for our drama nominees for the 2023 Normies are Oppenheimer, Creed 3, Air, Napoleon, Sound of Freedom, Tetris, and Gran Turismo.
All right. I think this one is going to be very interesting because I have not seen any of them. However, I do have opinions and kind of am excited for a couple of them.
Okay. Criddle, have you seen any of them?
I have not.
I'm the only one. I've seen 2. I've seen Tetris and Gran Turismo.
Okay. All right.
And so this is my thoughts. Just start off. Oppenheimer. It's just so long.
3-hour movie. And from what I've heard from one of the YouTube channels that I watch, the movie doesn't really begin until Matt Damon's character comes in at around the 45-minute mark. And I'm like, so you're literally and he's a critic who actually loves it, but he just goes, yeah, if they cut out that first, because Nolan has, 3 acts or whatever. And that first act, he goes, is generally pointless. And so once Matt Damon's character comes in, that's when you should start watching the movie. And so a part of me wants to rent, because I don't think I want to rent Oppenheimer and try to find that moment and then watch that movie from right there to the very end to see if it makes sense. And then go back and then watch the first 45 minutes to see if that's correct. I'm very intrigued by that.
I would be very interested to see. Because if you can cut out extras that is not necessary, absolutely do it. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. Creed 3. I mean, if it's as good as Creed 1, I can't imagine it. I mean, it's equal to or less because it's a continuation. I would say it's probably not that great.
Well, I mean, here's my problem. And this is funny because I own the first 2 Creeds. I've watched them 0 times.
I own all 3 Creeds and I haven't watched any of them.
And it's one of those.
You haven't watched the first one?
No.
I don't like Michael B. Jordan, and yet I watched it.
Well, it's one of those things that I want to watch it. It's just one of those. You know what I think I need to start doing is my idea that I shared on the last podcast for Christmas movies. I just need to take movies that I haven't watched, wrap them in wrapping paper, and then just randomly open it up and be like, "Okay, this is the one I'm watching."
And then you go, "No, I don't want to watch this
exactly."
one. And then you go unwrap another one
because that's what I do. I bought the first Creed when it came out, and I picked it up for $9.99 when iTunes was kind of having a sale on it. And then I didn't pick up the second one until the pandemic when they were like, please buy a movie. And so I was like, okay, $4.99 for this one. I can do this. And I've always been well-intentioned on watching it. I think I have it available. I think Creed 3 is available on 3 different platforms or streaming platforms that I own or have access to. And I'm like, this is a sign. I should watch it. I just don't.
I bought every Creed 3 on a Black Friday. Or every Creed movie I bought on a Black Friday.
That's funny.
And I just have not watched them.
Creed 1 was okay. I mean, it was good for, because this is in the Rocky realm, right?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the Rocky franchise. I mean, granted, I need to go back and rewatch some of them.
I've only seen Rocky 1.
The only Rocky I've not seen is the one with Mr. T. I've not seen that one.
Okay. And I have all the Rockies. It's hard to find time to go and watch them.
Yeah.
The next one's Air, which I am actually very interested in watching.
I really want to see this too.
It's about Nike signing Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Then there's Napoleon. As of recent, I'm a little weary of Joaquin.
I'm just not interested in this. I don't know why. I've seen the trailer, and Joaquin Phoenix is a hit and miss for me, and I'm just like,
Well, I think here's the problem, and I was going to bring this up to you, just you and me just the other day at a family get-together, but I never did. And it's just like, I think my excitement for movies is I lost the excitement to go to the movie theater to watch movies, because I've been talking to a couple people that watched Napoleon, and they're like, it's not that bad. They're like, however, you probably should wait it out for it to come on to Apple TV if you have that platform. I go, yeah, I do. They're like, yeah, just wait for that right there. And I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, that I do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I no longer have like the fear of missing out because I'm like,
I know.
I'll just wait it out.
I no longer have FOMO either. And I used to have to be there not the week of, but like
I was always
as
like
soon
a
as-
second week person.
second week.
I say it depends on what it is.
It does.
I feel like I don't have it as much now.
I also think my kids hold me back.
Yeah.
Well, it's that, and I mean, what was it? Going to the movies was an experience. It used to be, I remember seeing The Matrix 2, and for the midnight showing on Thursday night, and we were in line at Jordan Commons starting at like 8 p.m. And, there was so much anticipation, and you were there with your friends, and, you had to make sure, okay, if anybody disperses, we need to get these seats. Need to get them now. Now you can order your ticket online. You can stroll in like, whenever you want.
Mhm.
Your seat's not, you
can have food delivered to your seat.
Exactly. And it's just like, I think there's something that special that has gotten lost over the years. And I think that has also provided me with the realization that, I can wait it out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. All right, continue on. Sound of Freedom. I just know there's controversy around it. I know what it's about.
I know what it's about, and I can't watch it because I deal with young children, and that just bothers me.
Next one is Tetris. I have said on the podcast before how fantastic that movie is.
I need to watch Tetris. I really do.
Surprisingly, it is kind of like, it's not like action packed, but it's like intense and like you're on the edge of your seat, surprisingly, about a video game. And then Gran Turismo, which I watched this also on the plane, and I have to say that I was in love with this movie all the way through. And for those who love Hopper from Stranger Things, it just brings back the love you have for Hopper. It just does. And you're just like, I love you, Hopper. So
how's Orlando Bloom?
Orlando Bloom he's in it very, he's in it enough, but he's not in it a ton. It's mainly the main kid and Hopper.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this, and I'm sorry, but if you watch this, count how many times Orlando Bloom says Nissan. Like, he's the only one who says Nissan. He's the only one. And it just says it Nissan, the British way.
So does he use his British accent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
But he's the only one that says Nissan. Only one. I don't think I heard Hopper say Nissan once. I don't think I heard the main kid say Nissan once. But yeah, Orlando Bloom says it in every sentence. I swear that he's in. We're here for Nissan. I was like, and I had my son watch it because I was like, hey, this is a great movie. You need to watch it. And he watches. He's like, what's Nissan? I was like, it's Nissan. He's like, that's what I thought.
I have not heard it pronounced like that since I stopped watching Top Gear after Clarkson left.
Yeah. But no, those two, I would say Air is the only one that I would have question on whether or not it could beat out Tetris or Gran Turismo. But honestly, and I'm trying to wonder if like I'm partial to Gran Turismo because of its newness to me. Like I just watched it 2 days ago. Tetris, it's been a little bit longer. But I honestly think that I could watch Gran Turismo again right now.
Well, and I think I would throw also because I think it came out this year, but BlackBerry, that is the documentary on the creation of the BlackBerry phone. And like there's something interesting, and maybe it's just because of what the time and frame in which we grew up. But I mean, Air Jordans, super huge. You have BlackBerries, super huge. Tetris was, I had that as my ringtone at one point in time. And it went off in a faculty meeting, and everybody just kind of paused and just kind of like looked up and just kind of like, ah.
Actually, in my head, is that I'm wondering the ding, 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 ding. Is that Dr. Mario or is that Tetris?
That's Tetris.
Okay. But yeah, those are great movies. And if Blackberry's up there, I'll definitely give it a shot because I mean, Gran Turismo is based on a true story. Tetris is based on a true story. Air is based on true stories. And so Blackberry is too, right? A lot of based on true story. Well, Oppenheimer, I'm not. But yeah.
Napoleon.
Napoleon, I hear maybe is a basic. I don't know if Sound of Freedom is or not.
Yeah, Sound of Freedom is based on a true story.
This is a full list of Creed 3 is
Creed 3 is the only one not based off of a true story.
So Creed 3 for the win.
Creed 3 is based off of a character from the Rocky franchise.
So yeah, a lot of based on true stories, which is awesome. But
the drama.
I'm going to throw in my hat at Gran Turismo. Fantastic.
Okay, that's the one that I wanted to watch out of all of them. I mean, I do have Tetris on there. I do have, the wanting to see Blackberry. Kind of want to see Air. I think it's available on Prime. I'm not sure. But yeah, Gran Turismo, like every so often I stock iTunes and just like, is it a cheap price?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I own Oppenheimer. I own Creed. And those are the only ones that I own, but I haven't seen any of these. Oppenheimer, I feel like it will be kind of one of those one-time watches, possibly for a while. Creed 3, I still need to watch the first two. Air, I thought was really interesting. I just like the idea of how Nike started and the story behind it, and it looks really interesting. Napoleon, I have really no interest in watching Napoleon. Sound of Freedom, again, there was a lot of buzz about it around here. Just trying go see it, and I'm like, I have no interest in seeing it. Tetris, I thought looked interesting. I remember watching the trailer to it and thought, I can't believe they're making a movie about Tetris.
That's what I thought too.
and I think Taron Egerton's in it.
Yeah,
it looks good. I mean, I'd like to see it someday. Gran Turismo, I remember that trailer popping up, and I just thought, where did this come from? Just right out of nowhere. Like, what the heck's going on? So I'm going to cast my vote for Gran Turismo as well. Okay.
So I guess I want to do an experiment.
Ooh, an experiment.
Because all right. So here's the premise.
Okay.
Are Christopher Nolan movies one-time watch movies? And so I pulled up all of his movies that he has written.
I definitely know that a couple of them are not.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with, so the first one I've never heard of. It's called Following, but
that's one time.
Okay, that's one time.
You've seen it?
Yes, it's one time.
Okay. I think me and Jeremy are in total agreement. Memento.
Oh, I can't even.
I've seen all of his movies minus Oppenheimer.
Okay.
So you've seen Memento?
Yes.
Do you one time?
Yeah.
I don't think I can endure another time.
No.
I've tried. I definitely have tried.
I haven't tried, but I mean, just based on what I remember of it, it's a one time.
Okay. Batman Begins.
I love that movie.
That's a good movie.
I could rewatch that.
Yeah. I have rewatched that numerous times.
Okay. So I'm going in order. The Prestige.
I like The Prestige.
I need
personally.
to rewatch that one.
I personally liked it. I could rewatch it.
I agree.
I'm sorry.
That's probably one of his best.
I'm sorry for this. That's one of his best. I was like, that's
one of.
I'm sorry for this, but Prestige is the one with who?
Hugh Jackman. Michael Caine.
Hugh Jackman.
The two magicians.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
not The Illusionist.
Yeah.
The Illusionist to me is
okay because the Prestige is better.
The Prestige is way better.
Yes. Okay.
The Dark Knight.
Definitely watchable.
Freaking tastic.
Okay.
Arguably his best.
Inception.
Fantastic. I could rewatch that.
I've rewatched it. It is less rewatchable than Batman Begins and Dark Knight, but is rewatchable.
Yes.
Yeah. The Dark Knight Rises.
I mean, that's not because it's a Christopher Nolan movie. That's just
it's rewatchable, but not as much as Batman Begins or The Dark Knight.
Inception. I think Inception's more rewatchable.
Inception's more rewatchable.
Oh, I didn't know this. I'm learning something. Christopher Nolan wrote the Man
Superman.
of Steel.
Yes, I'm very aware of that. And stupidest story ever. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched Man of Steel.
I thought he was just a producer on that.
Now he wrote
No,
it.
no, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Story
very
as
aware
writer.
of it when I went and saw it. I was like, all right, Christopher Nolan.
Well, story, not screenplay.
Oh, well, that's true. But like, still, the story is very flawed.
Okay, Dark Knight Rises.
You already said
Oh,
that.
I already said that one. Okay. I thought I did, but then I'm like, I don't remember talking about that one because that's the least rewatchable out
Yes,
of the Batman
absolutely of all.
trilogy.
Yep.
Correct.
Interstellar.
I mean,
Not-
it could be rewatchable, but not very much.
It's on the lower end of the
Yes.
rewatchability.
Yes.
Okay, Dunkirk. I know Jeremy's opinion on that one.
I'm just tired watching, listening
One
to the
time.
word.
One time.
One time.
Okay, Tenet.
I haven't seen it yet.
To me, it's rewatchable because it's so deep and you need to rewatch it a second time to kind of understand it.
I would say this falls in the middle, like
Okay.
of the rewatchability of his films.
And then obviously we have Oppenheimer, which I think,
I'm going to assume that it's not rewatchable.
I mean, so let's, I want to look at this also because does it come down to time also?
Oh,
'Cause-
yes.
'cause-
Time is a huge factor in
Yeah.
rewatchability.
So look, Memento, 1 hour 53.
Oh,
It is that thing is not what that seems to be like 5 hours long.
yes.
Batman Begins, 2 hours 20. The Prestige, 2 hours 10. Dark Knight, 2 hours 30. Inception, 2:20. Let's see. Dark Knight Rises, 2 hours 44. Man of Steel, 2 hours 23. Interstellar, 2 hours 49. Dunkirk,
300 hours.
1 hour 46.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw this on TikTok the other day when people said how short that was. They're like, there's no way it's that short. It's like, yeah, it is that short.
Tenet, 2 hours 30. And then Oppenheimer, 3 hours.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to go back to an Alfred Hitchcock quote. Movie should be as long as the human bladder can, like a normal human bladder can stand.
Yeah.
Like that's as long as a movie should ever be.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. But yeah, because whenever we talk about Christopher Nolan, we always just like, oh, it's great. They're cinematic, but they're not rewatchable. And so I was just like, I wonder how.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say 50% of them are rewatchable.
Yeah, that's about right. All right. So, and Brett, did you put in your vote?
Yeah, I went for
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Yeah.
And Criddle as well. Okay.
Gran Turismo.
Okay. Action nominees for 2023 normies are John Wick, Chapter 4, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1, Transformers, Rise of the Beast, Fast 10, Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds. We have a lot of nominees. The Flash, The Equalizer 3, Meg 2, The Trench, Blue Beetle, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Gran Turismo, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. No, that's not what it's called, right?
No, it's what is it? It's something else.
It's the sequel to
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
It's Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, it is.
Oh, is
Okay.
it? Okay.
It is.
That just sounded like the first one.
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
is
into
the first one.
the Spider-Verse.
okay.
Across and into.
And the
Gotcha.
third one's Beyond.
Beyond the Spider-Verse. The Marvels, The Killer, Silent Night, and Extraction 2. All right. I think this list we've seen a lot more of.
Yes. And there's a couple of them. I'm just like, I'm not going to watch that one. The interesting thing about, and what was it? When The Killer got brought up, I've heard many good things about it. In fact, last night I almost started watching it. And then what prevented me from watching it, and I think we almost need to get a separate category. I'm not sure if it would be TV category or whatever, but I got distracted from watching The Killer because of I had like 4 strong recommendations of like Asian horror or Asian action movies or whatever. And I'm like, they're doing like Korea's doing a really good job.
Mhm.
Japan is doing a really good job. And that's what distracted me from watching The Killer. So starting off on our list, John Wick Chapter 4. The story concludes.
Have you seen it?
Question mark? No, I haven't.
Have you seen it, Brett?
Yeah, I have.
Is it better than number one? Because that's all I really need to know.
No. There's parts where it's just like there's literally, I almost want to say like a 30, 40-minute fight scene that takes place. Is it on the streets of Paris? I can't remember. But wherever they are, there's this, and there's a thing that John Wick does at times, and I'm like, come on, really? Like, really? Nobody could have like taken him out. Really?
Yeah. Are you talking about like those scenes where there's so many people trying to fight him, but for some reason they're on break and...
No.
Okay, because I hate those fight scenes.
There's literally, he's being attacked on all sides, which is so fantastic. But all I'll say is, it is what he is doing.
Okay.
That will drive you insane. And I'm not going to point it out to you. I just want you to experience it, and you're just going to be like, okay, well, I'd believe that. And then after he's doing it again, and you're just like, oh, I'm not sure I believe that now. And then he's doing it for longer periods of time, and you're like, okay, now this is going from semi not believable to cartoonish superhero movie.
Would you say that this is better than number 3? I didn't like number 3.
It's hard because this one, I mean, the beauty of most of John Wick's is that they nearly take place like almost all in a day. And this one is kind of different because it takes place the instant from the ending of number 3. Uh-huh. And then I almost want to say it's like, a couple months later. And it's like, oh, good. He's actually had time to heal.
Yeah. All right, Brighton, you've seen Mission Impossible.
Oh,
right?
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oh, that is a good movie. That is a super good movie, and also super scary because, again, it's about AI and whatnot. The one thing that kind of bothers me is it is a Part 1. I almost would have preferred closure, but the beauty about, and I went, what was it, iTunes the other day, a couple months ago, had a deal when I want to say that this came out. I think I picked up all 6 Mission Impossibles for like $15.
That's a great deal.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't say no to this. I want to rewatch all of the Mission Impossibles because the beauty, what I really like about Dead Reckoning is there's really no lull. There is a minor lull, but the lull is there to kind of lead you into a sense of security. Mm-hmm. And then that's when it takes off again and it doesn't stop. And while you're watching it, you've been, at least when I saw it in the theater, you've been in the theater for a while and you're just waiting for like, okay, I know this is Part 1. When is it going to end? When is it going to end? Come on. This cannot be going on for that long. And that is the beauty of Dead Reckoning Part 1 is it just, the lull is even important to the entirety of the plot. And I wish that more movies would either do that, A, or B, stop being over 2 hours.
That's a rare moment when action-packed movie, their lulls are just as important.
Yeah.
As what else is going on.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like the director's like, okay, let's give the audience a break.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, don't tell me what I need.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Transformers.
Transformers I've been kind of interested in because I've always loved the dinosaur Transformers, but I heard that they weren't going to be featured in there. And
I liked the Beast Wars growing up, but I haven't seen this, but it's a spoiler Christmas present for myself. So.
All right. And one of the things that I do like because they're doing it in the comics is it sounds like they're getting ready to, because the comics are now integrating G.I. Joe and Transformers into the same universe.
Ooh.
And that's what Beast Wars does.
They have
Oh,
mixed
I never knew
feelings.
they ever were in the same universe.
Nope. I'm not sure they were, but now they're, at least in comic wise, now they are.
It's about the multiverse.
Exactly.
Fast 10. I haven't
I
seen it.
haven't seen it.
So, Fast 10 is silly.
Wait,
silly.
what?
How is Jason Momoa in this?
So Jason Momoa is actually a pretty fun villain
Okay.
in terms of what the Fast and the Furious franchise has gone with. He plays a very Joker-esque character in this film. It is absolutely bizarre and silly that he is actually in this movie because they take his character and pluck him from a side scene that they created from the other movies.
Oh, wow.
Like he was there the whole time.
So is Paul, did they like throw him in a scene like with Paul Walker's character there?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
They threw him in there with Paul Walker's character, like in a part of a scene from number 5, and it somehow, for some reason, over the years, he's just been building up this elaborate scheme to get Dominic Toretto and his team. And I'm telling you, it is so just crazy elaborate that it's the Adam Carolla effect. If you press play, you are agreeing to the terms, and you're just gonna be along for the ride. And it's just a fun. If you're a Fast and the Furious franchise lover and you like these movies, this is for you. It's a movie you can turn your brain off. It's pretty bad, but it's also fun to watch.
Okay. I think that's along the lines of most Fast and Furious, if you ask me.
I would say so. I mean, they kind of started off like number 1 was like almost like a remake of Point Break.
Yeah.
But with cars.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
And then number 2 was just a disaster. Number 3 just, I think, was straight to video.
Yep, it was.
It almost felt like it was a hope of maybe refreshing the franchise, and then they were like, "Oh, there's still a little interest," and so number 4 was made, but that was like a prequel, and then it just kept going from there.
Well, what saved, I think, the franchise was number 3 going not only straight to video, but they had an end credit Marvel scene at the very end
With Vin Diesel.
And that, I think, breathed life into the franchise.
And what's funny is they actually take that end credit scene and they play it out into another future movie.
Oh, interesting.
So it continues the story. So it all, I mean, if you really watched all the Fast and the Furiouses in a row, it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 1, 4. You know, it jumps around.
Oh, interesting.
I definitely want to watch all the Fast and Furious because I think it's just one of those movies that it's fun.
It's like Transformers. If you're a fan of Transformers or something, it's just you just turn your brain off and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved the first Transformers movie, and then these 2 yellow cars destroyed the second one for me.
Yeah. All right, the next one is Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds.
So I want to watch this movie, and I don't. And the reason why I don't is this movie was requested to be made by the studios that did the first 4 Hunger Game movies, and went to the author and said, "Hey, remember your franchise? Would you write a book so that we could make a movie out of it?" And just knowing that this was not her original idea, this was basically like, here's a briefcase full of money. Will you write a book?
Do it.
So that we can, and it's just like, oh, gee whiz, you came here. Can I keep the briefcase? Part of me just doesn't want to watch it just because it was a forced movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm still interested.
I'll watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, me too.
I won't spend my money at the theater.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed. But I'm interested. It's going to be like Fast and Furious.
So I've seen the Hunger Games 1, 2, but I haven't seen the 3rd and 4th.
Well, so here's the funny thing. I have seen the Hunger Games 1, 2, part 1 of the 3rd book. I've never seen the conclusion because by the time we got to the end, I was just like, they're doing The Hobbit. Because I'm not sure if The Hobbit was out, had been out, but I'm like, okay, I'm fine with them doing that to Harry Potter because that is a thick, thick book, The Deathly Hallows. Super thick. That's the last one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. I give you my permission to do this. But the Hunger Games, all three of them are about 250, 300 pages at most. And they decided to slow everything down and make a part 1, part 2 movie. And when I got to the end of part 1, the cliffhanger did not make me go, oh, I need to watch that. It did the exact opposite. I need to remember, like, don't watch that.
Sadly, I've seen them all. And the ones I remember is just the first one.
Yeah, I remember the first
and
one.
a little bit of the second one.
And the second one where they're all standing on a gigantic dial. That's the only thing I remember from the second one.
But yeah, and I read all the books prior to, and I think that I'm still interested. It's gonna be like Fast and Furious. It's not gonna be the greatest movie, but it'll be entertaining.
Same. I'll just watch it.
All right, next nominee is The Flash, and
I mean, sorry, the Flash,
Colon.
aka the best Batman movie that we've seen in a long time.
You know what? Also, I will say this. I was excited for the Superwoman that they put there, or Supergirl, or whatever you call her. I was like, oh, I like her. She's fun. And then dead. So,
so just a little fun, like, side note, because we were just going to easily pass over the Flash. I did a thought experiment. I'm not sure if we did it on the podcast, but I was like, where does this Flash movie fall in lines with my favorite Batman movies? And so it is Dark Knight number 1, Batman Returns number 2, Batman Begins number 3, The Batman number 4, and the Flash movie is number 5.
I am kind of surprised that you put Batman Begins before the Batman. I thought you would have liked the Batman more. Because you're not really pro Batman Begins, I thought.
I've rewatched it. I feel as though I needed time. Like when I remember,
we needed a separation.
I watched Batman Begins and I was just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, whatever. And then I watched all 3 of Nolan's Batmans back to back one Christmas a couple of years ago. And it was just like, oh, you know what? Batman, the Rise of whatever, the Dark Knight or whatever, actually is not as bad as I remember when I watched it in the movie theaters. When I watched it in the movie theaters, I go, this sucks. And I think it was because, I wanted more Heath Ledger Joker. But
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I just thought of? So The Dark Knight Rises is not actually paying a tribute to any kind of like actual rising. It's what's his name? What's Batman? Who's the guy who plays
Bruce
Batman?
Wayne?
No.
Chris. Let's see.
Why can't I remember his name? That's embarrassing.
What's his name?
Christian Bale.
Christian
there
Bale.
we are.
It's the rise of his little mole on his on his face. It keeps getting bigger and bigger until it takes over and is the entire scene. All right, let's speed this up a little bit. So Equalizer 3 is
the first 2 Equalizers with Denzel Washington are fantastic.
Yeah.
I was just waiting this out for Redbox or something like that.
I agree. Meg 2. I tried watching this on the airplane. I tried. I'm good.
Yeah, pass.
Blue Beetle. I had hope and I lost it.
Yeah.
It's mainly just a what's that one? The uncle. What's the uncle's real name?
George Lopez.
It's a George Lopez show. That's all it is. And he's the one that's the only. If you take him out of the movie, it goes down a couple notches.
George Lopez featuring Miguel.
Yeah. Shazam! The Fury of the Gods.
I wanted this to be fantastic. It was just okay. It wasn't as bad as people.
Yeah, it was okay. And Gran Turismo, which I've said my piece on that. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that is fantastic.
I watched it and I can't. My kids had to tell me that I watched it because I forgot I already did.
Daddy, you watched
I was like, let's watch this. We've never seen this before. Yeah, you've seen it. I'm like, I have. And so I hit play. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did see this.
It is really good, honestly. It's probably the best animated film of the year.
See, whenever I think about watching it, I just think of the stupid Kingpin from the first movie, and I can't watch it.
And the Kingpin's not even in this one.
I know, but do you know how much that bothered me?
Let's see. And then there is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I don't want to watch it because
after the Crystal Skulls, I was just like, I think I'm done with Indiana Jones.
It's under my Christmas tree right now.
All right, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. Fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh, it's so good.
I did not know I was going to like that movie that much.
I didn't either.
That one was just such a surprise.
Yep.
When's Jonathan getting here?
The Marvels, which I don't think we've all seen, but we all are very hesitant.
Each trailer has not inspired me. And then I watched the pitch meeting. And if it is anything, I know they take things and like tease them or whatever, but I feel as though the Marvels is as bad as pitch meeting shows.
All right. I kind of assume it's not great.
Feels like a Disney Plus release.
Yep. The Killer, which you said you have interest in watching that.
Uh-huh.
Silent Night. What's Silent Night again?
Silent Night is, oh shoot, I was the one that put this on this list. It is I want to say kind of like a revenge Christmas movie. I can't remember. I put it on like early last week. I saw it. Yeah, that's the one.
John Woo directs it, which he's known for action.
Mm-hmm. But for some reason, like my brain is currently not remembering. Because I do remember watching the trailer. I'm like, I'm gonna watch that, but I have no clue. My brain has received some damage.
Okay, and then Extraction 2. The reason I put this on the list and I put it on late is so while I was on the plane, I also watched Extraction 1 and 2.
I've watched them back to back,
and I have to say I enjoyed them.
Yeah,
I enjoyed them both, and they are kind of nonstop action throughout the movies.
Yeah.
Extraction 1, the story's better than 2. 2, it was, I don't know. It's good. I don't know if it's going to win this, but it's definitely, I'd say it's worth watching. It's just like a Fast and the Furious of action movies. Mm-hmm. It's enjoyable. All right. Does anybody want to say what they want to vote for first?
Let's see.
I'm torn between.
First off, I'm going to throw in my 2 cents. I'm going to throw in Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Dungeons and Dragons. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think I'm at Mission Impossible, Gran Turismo, and Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm at Mission Impossible.
All right. Well, we in a way casted our votes there if we all go the same one. So it sounds like
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train for the win. I was wondering when somebody was going to say that. Mission Impossible wins it.
All right.
Congratulations, Mission Impossible. It's possible. Okay, sci-fi and fantasy. These days, I feel like sci-fi and fantasy is more or less just like superheroes.
Yeah, either that or action movies that are a little bit too unbelievable.
Yeah. So there's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Hunger Games, Meg 2, Godzilla -1, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Spider-Man Across the Universe, Dungeons and Dragons, The Marvels, Blue Beetle, The Flash, Hunger Games, and Transformers. So all these.
So we've discussed all of them except for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Guardians of the Galaxy and Godzilla -1.
Yep.
And I threw Godzilla -1 on because like it is such a phenomenon. Like this movie was made for like $22 million. And it is like just destroying the box office.
Wow.
And so I just wanted to throw that in. I haven't watched it. I look forward to watching it. It's one of those, sadly, it's subtitles, but you know what? With what we're seeing on Netflix,
yes.
Like I've gone from super
against them
to like, man, some of the best movies have subtitles.
And then also dubbing too. Like I was against dubbing when I was like, all right, I'm all in.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with Godzilla movies is like, so I recently watched the other ones like Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh yeah,
And then then
Godzilla King of the Monsters or something like that.
yeah. And they're okay. They're fun. They're okay, but they're not great.
I've wanted to see Skull Island, Godzilla versus Kong, and the Godzilla King of the Monsters. But I have not done that.
I think Skull Island is my favorite of those.
Seen him too much.
Oh yeah.
Kids. The
Guardian-
boy.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is not the typical Guardians, which kind of, when you deviate, you go in expecting one thing and you kind of get another, so you get a little disappointed.
I mean, the biggest disappointment, I think there's two, at least, disappointments for me for Guardians 3, is it's more of an emotional heartstrings, Rocket's origin story, which kind of is interesting, but slows down. And then you have the character of Adam Warlock, who is supposed to be super, super powerful.
Yeah.
And the best way to describe him is he's a Mimbo.
Yep. He is. It really is. Yeah. It's disappointing there.
So honestly, this entire list, there is actually only one movie for me that sticks out as the top candidate for sci-fi fantasy, and that is Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Yep. I second that.
100%.
I third that. And just
I like that you already have it on.
Yeah, I was glad that when you brought that up, because I was like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And then as soon as you were like, before you said the words, I'm like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons.
I look at all the other ones,
Yeah.
comparing them, and I'm like, this is sci-fi fantasy. Dungeons and Dragons has it all.
It does.
It has the formula. It's got comedy. It's got the sci-fi. It's got the fantasy. It has everything, and it was totally out of nowhere. Great.
Well,
Yeah.
and I never thought I'd really truly like a movie with Hugh Grant in it. And Hugh Grant is fantastic.
And I never thought I'd like a movie with Chris Pine in it, except for Star Trek. But yeah, I like it. So congratulations, Dungeons and Dragons. You got the Sci-Fi Fantasy Normie Award. Moving on to comedy now. Our nominees are the Super Mario Brothers, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, Barbie, Haunted Mansion, Renfield, Cocaine Bear, No Hard Feelings, Murder Mystery 2, and Ghosted.
I was so disappointed with Murder Mystery 2.
It's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst.
No, but I mean, like, maybe it was because I went into the first one with no expectations.
And then you were like, ooh.
And then I'm like, this is actually really good. And then this one, it just was so odd.
None of these really scream like comedy to me.
I mean, they're not like comedy like Anchorman or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not nothing like what it was growing up. It was like nothing here really stands out as strictly just a comedy.
Well, and
No.
I think that that's also a struggle with what we're doing currently in our culture is, we can't make comedy the way it used to be because of, offending.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like all of these are comedy, but they're safe comedy.
Yeah, I mean, so I've watched Super Mario Brothers,
Uh-huh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Of course, we talked about it briefly. It does lose a lot of its humor for comedy. Dungeons and Dragons, pretty funny. Barbie, I attempted again on the movie on the airplane to watch this, and I was like, no, maybe it gets better, but I won't know for right now. I'll wait to watch it with my wife. Haunted Mansion, it looks good. Renfield, I did start it. I got interrupted and I never got back to it. It's so far really good. I enjoy it, but as far as comedy, and is it going to be the greatest? Probably not. Cocaine Bear, the premise just seems
Loosely based off of a true story.
yeah. No Hard Feelings is funny, enjoyable, but is not that great.
Yeah.
Murder Mystery 2, about the same. I'd feel like No Hard Feelings and Murder Mystery, maybe No Hard Feelings a little bit better. And then Ghosted, I want to see, even though it's like on everybody's list of being horrible, but I don't trust critics for comedies.
This is the normies. Of course we don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, in fact, what was it? The critics gave, the Rebel Moon, they've watched it and they just barely came out with their stuff. And currently on Rotten Tomatoes, it sits at I think 22% or whatever. And so then I saw that, I go, oh, so I'm going to like it.
Yep, exactly. I don't know who they're rating for, honestly.
I think I have my casted vote for comedy, but I want
So,
to hear from someone else.
I'm
first.
gonna. It's not a I think there's one clear winner for this one. I'm just gonna throw in a minor pitch, but I'm gonna cast my vote for the other one. So my minor pitch is the Super Mario Brothers movie because that was so fun. That was, and Jeremy's, I know disagrees with this. I can't remember if we've mentioned it or whatever, but I know he disagrees with it. I liked it more than the Rescue Rangers movie. It was so nostalgia for me. Yeah, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. But I mean, it didn't have Ugly Sonic, but so I mean that's the only thing. Like if Ugly Sonic made an appearance in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, that would have been hysterically funny. But so I'm just going to make a pitch for that as a good comedy, but the better one is Dungeons and Dragons, and that's where I'm casting my vote.
That is where I'm casting my vote.
That is exactly where I landed.
I kind of figured. I was like, I don't know where Brett's going now.
Is it this year's Bullet Train?
It just seems like it. It's going to get next. We're going to the best musical.
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train. Actually, so I need to take a step back here and once again give a nod back to our previous winners. So action was Bullet Train, fantasy Bullet Train, comedy. We had a 3-way tie because we didn't agree. Chip and Dale, Thor 4, and the unbearable weight of massive talent.
That's a shame. It should have been Bullet Train.
When I was listening to it, I was like, I'm surprised we didn't do Bullet Train.
Bullet Train is so hysterically funny too.
I like the one guy because I've watched it since we did this, and I like the one guy who is obsessed with Thomas the Train.
Yes.
All right, now on to musicals. So the nominees are The Little Mermaid, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Someone, or what is it? Somebody? Yeah. And then did somebody put Wonka in here?
I did.
Is there a movie out?
Yeah.
It just came out.
Just came out.
And is it a musical?
It's a musical.
It's a prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's funny because I'm like, I know that there is a movie coming out, but I didn't know it was already
It stars
out.
the same dude that is in Dune.
So
Timothy Chalamet.
yeah. So I've seen The Little Mermaid.
Hugh Grant's an Oompa Loompa?
Yeah. I've heard he steals the show also.
So I plan on seeing that movie next week. So I'm kind of curious about it. I've heard really good things, but that's gonna be like our holiday movie this year.
I am intrigued. Color me intrigued. Let's see.
But man, The Little Mermaid, I thought was boring.
Well, what is it? I think again, it also goes into they're remaking it. It's live action. I've never been interested in a single one of Disney's live action remakes.
Well, it's almost a exact replica of the cartoon, and there's nothing against the people that are playing the parts. I have nothing wrong with their voices and their music and everything. I just found it very boring, and it was like over 2 hours.
Yeah, well, because the first Little Mermaid was like 1 hour, like 40 or 1 hour 50, and so I think this this remake was 220, 230.
Yeah.
So now, and that, just imagine, like, I don't have your young age kids and stuff like that, but just the thought of taking them to a 2 hour 30 movie, I think I'd be like, going insane.
I mean, my little girl really liked it. I think my boy may have liked it. I don't know. My wife liked it, but like, I was just like, it to me, I prefer the cartoon. Like,
Yeah.
And it gets over quicker.
I do like the cartoon better. The one thing I will say, the saving grace that I liked about it is it shed light on more information that I didn't have in the cartoon. And that is why the importance of why they took her voice. Why
Oh yeah.
the witch took her voice, and that's because she has the siren song and she could have made him fall in love by singing.
Oh, that's cool.
So like with that knowledge, I'm like, that explains it. And there was a couple other things they explained. I'm like, so that knowledge was nice, but the movie was long and is not enjoyable. So I'm going to go with it wasn't as good as the cartoon.
My vote's going to be casting blindly for Wonka because I've heard good things, and if Hugh Grant, from what I've heard, Hugh Grant steals the show, and if Hugh Grant is as good as an Oompa Loompa as he was in Dungeons and Dragons. Sign me up for that.
I'm going Wonka as well.
So the funny thing is, I have the trailer on mute right now and it's going. This is the first time I've actually seen the trailer, which I'm so surprised I have not seen this trailer yet. I have to say, I was watching it. I was like, oh no, but it's a musical. And I'm like, oh, we're doing musicals. So I completely forgot. I would have, if you didn't throw this Wonka in there because I didn't obviously know about it, I would have voted Whitney Houston.
Yep, that's what I would have voted for too.
But I think I'm going with Wonka. So Wonka wins it. Okay, mystery up next. So musical last year was one also is Spirited, which I want to see that again. I want to see that this year. Have any of you seen that? You saw Spirited.
I saw Spirited.
Did you see it, Brett?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
It was okay. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good one.
I enjoyed it.
All right. So mystery for this year is nominees are A Hunting in Venice, Murder Mystery 2, and Knock at the Cabin.
So A Haunting in Venice is the third story in the Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, that's what it is?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know there was a third story.
Neither did I until I was like perusing something and was looking for things to nominate. And so that's what I put on there. I haven't watched it, but I'd be interested in, a pro murder mystery, especially because I liked Murder on the Nile. Murder on the Nile was fun.
The movie or the book?
Yeah, the movie.
Okay, because I haven't seen that one. Because,
Well, Murder on the Orient Express makes me angry, so I can't watch it.
I do like the main character in this. What is it? Kenneth Branagh plays what? Hercule
Poirot,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I did like his character in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to give it a shot. The one thing that I am a little hesitant is that maybe it's not. Oh, okay. I thought Angelina Jolie was in it for a second. I guess that girl just looks like her. Tina Fey's in it, huh? That's interesting.
We need a category of movies that make us angry.
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient Express, number one.
The nominees are a lot. Just kidding. Okay, we've talked about Murder Mystery 2.
Mm-hmm.
Knock at the Cabin. I want to watch it, but I will not be Shyamalan. I will not.
Well, what was it? I watched the M. Night's not the Cabin. Is it the Cabin in the Woods? What's the one with Drax and?
That's Knock at the Cabin.
Oh, okay. I watched that.
Did you like it?
It was not as bad as it was. It's not a great movie, but it doesn't Shyamalan you.
Oh, that's good.
So,
but it sounds like I'm gonna trust you with this, and it sounds like that my vote should go towards A Haunting in Venice.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Griddle?
I'll do Murder Mystery 2.
Okay. The 2-1 split here. All right. And our mystery for last year was Knives Out 2.
Which I still haven't seen.
Me too. All right. Next category is sports. Nominees are Creed 3, Gran Turismo, and Air.
Okay, I'm just going to go with Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I have a close second with Air, and that's based off of not seeing it, but...
I'll go with Air. I'll give it a nod.
A nod. Okay. And last year's winner of sports was Hustle, which fantastic movie. Fantastic. All right. Next category, animated. Super Mario the nominees are Super Mario Brothers. I can't talk. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Elemental, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and Wish.
Okay. Well, at least for me personally, I have no interest in watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just do not like the animation. Like, it just bothers me. And then I can't get myself to watch. keep on looking at Across the Spider-Verse, and all I can think of is the Kingpin. And I'm like, no. But again, to go back to something I brought up regarding comedy, the Super Mario Brothers movie, I'd heard was good. I didn't realize it was that good, in my opinion. I thought that was so enjoyable, so fun, and it brought me back to simpler times, simpler video games, and it was a simple defeat the evil guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what was it? Even Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong Jr. was perfect. I'm like, you know what? There's not that many movies that I think he actually deserves to be in, but that one actually fit.
Mm-hmm. He really did. The one interesting fun fact about that movie, I watched this thing about the guy who's done Mario voice, and like, first of all, how he got the job and all that stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But he has done the Mario voice ever since he got hired, except for one time, which is this movie, because obviously it goes to Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
But he plays the voice, and it's his last time that he's ever going to be like a voice for Mario stuff. And he was the dad, and he actually says the last line in the movie at like the very end. And so it's like, oh, paying a little homage to him. I thought it was cool.
That's cool. That is super cool.
I really like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, especially because I thought the story was going to go one way and it completely went a different way. And I was like, knowing who these bad guys are, I was like, whoa, I did not expect to be turned that way. Elemental, I've watched it too many times, and the first time I watched it, it still wasn't that great. It's fun for kids, and it's fun for an adult to watch one time with your kids, but after that, it's like, meh. It's just another example of Pixar giving everything feelings. Toys have feelings. Feelings have feelings. Now elements have feelings. So that's what Pixar is known for.
If only we could have it starting off with an element being murdered by another element hunter.
I think. Well, I'm going to hold back. Brett, you're going with Super Mario.
I'm going with Super Mario.
I want Criddle to go first.
Okay, so the Super Mario Brothers movie is the first animated film I saw of the year. It was a surprise. It was good, and I'm going to say right now, I think Peach's song should be the best song of the year, and it'll win the Oscar. Declaring it right now. But it was a fun family movie. Great, a lot of nostalgia to it. Really fun. I did like it more than the live action Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Not that was a high bar to hurdle over. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to me was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. You really, really want to like Miles Morales and his Spider-Man story. I think it was a great continuation, and they bring more about Gwen Stacy in her spider story, and then they just expand on that world, and they just delve deeper into it, and it leaves you on a really big cliffhanger that was really fun. And it made that 2.5 hours or whatever it was. It doesn't feel like it for me. It was really quick, and it made me wanting more. So really fantastic. I think that'll be the Oscar winner this year for the next Oscars. Elemental, I haven't seen. I'm a little burnt out with Pixar, to be completely honest, and that's just because of my kids watching the Pixar films over and over and over again. I haven't seen Elemental though, but I plan on watching it. I know it's on Disney Plus. But again, I feel like Pixar is just I'm a little exhausted of them. So I'm not in a rush to see it. I'll see it sometime. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mayhem was a total surprise. I actually enjoyed it. Another Seth Rogen animated film.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in it.
And he's
which one is he? Bebop or Rocksteady?
I don't know. He's one of the two.
Yeah, it
might be Bebop. But that movie it's like one of the first times that the Ninja Turtles are actually teenagers.
Yes.
And they act like, but they're like Gen Z teenagers. They very much act like that. And then just, I know it was a little tough to get into the animation style, because it's very like Paramount, like almost like SpongeBob, like movie like, and so I mean it was a little. Once you get adjusted, your eyes get adjusted to it. The story is really fun, and the guy that directed it did also Mitchell versus the Machines a while ago.
Oh, I love that movie.
I thought it was great.
That's one of the greatest kid movies in the last like 5 years or so.
So I mean that was really great.
You seen that, Brett?
I've never heard of it.
You need to watch it. You
Mitchell
would love
versus the Machines
on Netflix.
On Netflix,
It's a Netflix original. You have to watch it.
All right.
Which I really enjoyed.
Oh, I try and
enjoyed
get
it.
my kids to watch that more.
Yeah, it was a great fun
You
film to watch.
will love it.
So I mean that the same guy directed Ninja Turtles, and so I really enjoyed the Ninja Turtles. Plus, the movie doesn't end the way you think it's going to end, and it just it keeps you guessing, and it makes you really like the Ninja Turtles. And I'm looking forward to seeing more from this world of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And then Wish, I have absolutely no interest in seeing Wish. It does not. It has. I've seen the trailer to it. I will probably watch it eventually, but it is just. It's on the very, very far back burner. So for me, the best animated film of the year, I think, has to go to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh shoot! I didn't think this would be like one or like
Three-way tie.
No, I haven't said anything yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna side with one of you and I'm sorry, it's gonna be Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. See, I remember you saying that you hadn't cast your vote, but my brain just was like, Jeremy's voting for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
I know I need to rewatch it again because I actually missed the first part of it. I was in a meeting and I couldn't get out in time, and I showed up late to the theater, so I missed the first part. So I can't really.
That's going to be under my Christmas tree as well.
But I will say this goes to show our priorities in movies, because I know me and Criddle have seen all these but Wish under the animated. So, kids. All right, so that wraps that up. So let's do a best. Oh, and let's do anime last year. Animated last year was Chippendale Rescue Rangers. All right. Best trailer 2024. Just quickly. Nominees: Self-Reliance, Godzilla X Kong, New Empire, Inside Out 2, If, Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, Dune 2, Kung Fu Panda 4, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. What trailer's getting you the most excited to watch?
For me, I'm really looking forward to Ghostbusters. It's been a long time since I think Ghostbusters went really big, and I'm not counting the reboot of with the women.
Yeah,
like nothing against that film. If that's your cup of tea, great. I watched it. I wasn't like overly loving
I
it.
enjoyed it. I just didn't like the bad guy story whatsoever.
But I prefer the original cast and the original story continuing, which I'm excited for, and it looks like it's going to go big, and I'm curious to see how it's going to unfold.
I'm looking forward to, and it's purely because I want to see it the way it's supposedly described or whatever, is Dune 2. I haven't watched the first Dune. I'm kind of waiting for the second one to drop because I've heard the sandworm in Dune 2 is supposed to be like fantastic.
It's going to be the lead actor.
Uh-huh.
Sandworm.
Oh, another movie I think we forgot to add to the list is the next Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I mean...
I've seen that one.
It looks okay. Because Andy Serkis isn't in it, I'm like, I might watch it when it comes out, but meh.
The one, and this is going to make this a three-way, Self-Reliance. I put that on there. I'm pretty sure you guys haven't seen the trailer for that one. Do you know who Jake Johnson is? So
he's in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. He does which Peter
B. Parker.
He's like the mentorish.
He's the guy with the kid.
Yeah. The good kid. Anyway, if you haven't seen that, he's off of New Girl. He is Nick from New Girl. Anyway, so this is a play off of like the world's greatest game or whatever it's called. like that premise of hunting man.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it is, and I think you probably, if you watch the trailer, you'd be interested. So how it starts out is Jake Johnson's walking along the street. A limousine pulls over, window scrolls down. It's Andy Samberg. And he's like, hey, he's like, I love you. You're a great actor. He's like, thank you. You want to hop in? He's like, sure. And so then it goes into, he's like interviewing him. He's like, and then so they're doing you're finding people to play in this dark web reality game of hunting man. The caveat to it is like, if you can last 30 days and you'll get $1 million. And the only way that people won't come in and try and kill you is if you're with somebody else. So you can't, if you're alone, that's the only time they can attack you. So he's always trying to like be with people and not be alone, so people don't have a chance to kill him. Anna Kendrick's in it, and they kind of team up to not be alone. So it turns into a little bit of a comedy rom-com there, but it just looks funny and it has a great cast. So that's where I recommend. All right. So, and last year we gave it to Guardians of the Galaxy and 3, Mario Brothers, and Shazam, because we split that way too.
All right.
And let's see who was right on that one.
Whoever chose Mario Brothers.
That was Criddle. I chose Guardian of the Galaxy. You chose Shazam, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Next year we'll see who is right. That's how we can do it every year. Who chose this? Who chose wisely?
Who chose good?
All right. And let's see. Anybody quick shout out to who do you think would be the best actor of the year?
I mean, just looking at our selection, I think it has to be Chris Pine for Dungeons and Dragons.
Or is it Hugh Jackman?
For what?
For Dungeons and Dragons. Or not
Hugh Jackman's
Hugh Grant. Sorry.
Oh.
Wrong Hugh.
I'm like, whoa. Did I miss a cameo?
Whoa. Was there a Hugh Jackman in there?
I have to give it to Chris Pine. I do. I can't imagine anybody else being him.
Yeah.
Like that character. He did such a good job of being that character and being that personality. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I'm looking over all the winners here. And I'm not really seeing anybody else that could be, unless you think Tom Cruise. Gran Turismo, I do like Hopper quite a bit. I mean, he's the supporting actor, so I guess he, just like Hugh Grant was the supporting actor. I guess because of that, if Hopper was the main person, I would have chose Hopper, but I'm going with Chris Pine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chris Pine.
Alrighty. Best actress. Who in here? I'm sorry, ladies. I would want to say the opposite of Chris Pine, which is Michelle Rodriguez.
She is good.
She is good. Looking through other movies here.
Is she a lead though?
I mean, she is the lead actress in that movie.
I'm just gonna throw out Margot Robbie for Barbie.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good shout out. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she does the movie well.
Mm-hmm.
It made $1 billion. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the highest grossing movie of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the most deserving in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Margot Robbie.
Okay, I agree.
All right, worst movie of the year. Oh, nods to the best actress and actor. We had Brad Pitt from Bullet Train last year, and Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I still need to see.
I started watching it. I got distracted. I felt bad.
All right, worst movie for 2023: Asteroid City, Wes Anderson. Expendables, not Expandables. That'd be interesting. Different movie. 4, Winnie the Pooh. I didn't write down the
blood and honey.
Yeah, Blood and Honey.
I will tell you, I'm not voting for that as the worst movie of the year. I mean, I think that there's going to be some really great bad
comedy from that.
comedy from that
Yep.
movie. So
Meg 2. Meg was 2 was I enjoyed Meg 1. Meg 2 just looked like ridiculous. I think we all kind of
Asteroid City.
know that Wes Anderson is not
our cup of tea.
a cup of tea. So,
Too artsy.
yeah, way too artsy fartsy. Alrighty. Let us now nod to last year's loser, which was Pinocchio. All right. Well, that wraps up the winners for the normies for 2023. I feel good about it. Hopefully you guys feel good about it, even though we haven't seen all the ones that we've won. Obviously, we have seen except for Haunting in Venice and Wonka. Yeah, those are the two that nobody's seen from that list. Well, we haven't seen worst movie because who wants to watch a Wes Anderson?
I mean,
I feel like I could sleep at night.
Yeah.
the only Wes Anderson I'll throw a bone to is The Fantastic Mr. Fox because it's weird and not bad.
Well, anything you want to say about our winners here?
Congratulations.
I mean, I think we said it last year, but we'll say it again. I guess, next year for 2024, I guess we'll need to maybe watch a little bit more, but it all comes to time. And I will say, in our defense, I feel as though that even had we watched all of them, I think we would still come to the same conclusion.
Yeah. And in our defense also, make movies less long. You don't need to make them shorter, just less long. Like, you know what I mean? Like the typical standard movies.
Look at the 2-hour mark.
Yep.
And just go under.
Yeah.
And Bullet Train.
And here you go, Bullet Train.
All right.
All right. Well, congratulations, winners.